The movie starts with Roxanne and her team going on an important mission. Nick, her partner, leads the way to get a package from a hotel and catch a CIA agent. The rest of the team, waiting behind, helps them with every move. Nick gets the package and gets ready to leave. His team is very skilled, making the job look easy. But just as Nick is about to leave with the captured agent, their vehicle blows up. Everyone is confused and shocked. As Nick and his team get the package onto the road, gunfire starts, and one by one, Nick's team gets hit. Despite trying to stay safe, Nick can't escape the attack, and the CIA agent also meets a bad end. Roxanne tries hard to save him, but she feels powerless, having to watch everything go wrong as the mission fails. Meanwhile, Mike is spending the night with his teacher, and the next morning, he goes home. He lives with his mom and hangs out with friends at a bar on weekends. Mike is a construction worker and is happy with his life. One night at the bar, Roxanne walks in, surprising Mike since they haven't seen each other in 25 years. She was his high school crush. They talk about their school days and later ride bikes to a quiet park where they used to hang out. Mike is really happy to see her again after so long, but his joy doesn't last. Just as he's enjoying the moment, Roxanne knocks him out and takes him to London. When Mike wakes up, he's confused, realizing he's in a new place. Just the night before, he was in New Jersey, and now he's in London. Roxanne introduces him to Tom, an older team member. Tom explains that Mike was brought there for a secret mission. He works for a CIA group called Union. After a recent attack, their whole team was taken out, and the attackers have access to all CIA info. They can't hire anyone with military experience, so they need someone with a normal life and no military background. Roxanne thinks Mike is the perfect choice. But Mike doesn't want to join this mission. He's happy with his life and doesn't want to risk it. He says no at first, but Roxanne begs him, saying he's their last chance. She gives him a ticket back to New Jersey and tells him to decide. Still having feelings for Roxanne, Mike thinks it over and finally agrees to help. Mike's mission is to take part in an auction in 2 weeks and get a briefcase. This auction will happen on the black market, and they need a special device to join. Only 6 groups have this device, so Mike must make a deal with one of them. Over the next 2 weeks, Mike trains hard in driving, boxing, and shooting. He has some experience, so he learns quickly. Tom gets Mike ready for the deal, where he will give money to get the package. Mike feels nervous. He's never done anything like this before. But he gathers the cash and goes to a tourist spot. Roxanne helps him over the phone and keeps a close eye on him. Soon, a beggar comes up to Mike and asks him to follow him to the auction. The man takes Mike to a restaurant, where he gets a call with instructions to go to the men's restroom with the money. In the restroom, a man takes the cash and gives Mike the auction device. Mike is surprised how easily it went and happily tells his team. But trouble isn't over. As he leaves the hotel, 2 men shoot at him, but Roxanne arrives just in time to save him. After that, there's a fight with many agents, and Mike accidentally drops the device into a sink. He barely escapes, and Roxanne's team gets him out safely. Mike gives the device to his team, but they hit a snag. It's broken from the water damage. They need to get another device from one of the other 5 groups. Without it, they can't join the auction, and if the briefcase goes to the wrong people, all CIA info will be at risk. That night, Mike and Roxanne relax at a bar, where Mike feels down about failing the mission. Roxanne cheers him up, reminding him that he did well, and sometimes luck just doesn't go your way. The next day, the team meets at a conference table to talk about the other 5 groups from Russia, North Korea, Iran, Syria, and China. Tom says the Russians are in their city, making it easier to steal the device from them. They make a plan to attack the Russians and grab the device. Soon, the team gets ready and goes to the Russians' hideout. They attack, taking out each enemy and getting the auction device. As they head back to their base, tragedy strikes. Alice, their communications expert, is killed in the van and their headquarters explodes. The team watches from a distance, helpless. They try to figure out who is behind this and think someone inside leaked information. Roxanne gets emotional, having lost many friends in the blast. The team decides they must split up to stay safe. The day of the auction comes, and the team goes to a safe house under a tunnel. They plan to keep raising the auction bids to buy time and track the auction's location. A CIA agent also joins them to place bids. Roxanne and Mike are on the ground as the auction starts, beginning at a huge $100 million. To keep the CIA agent on the call longer, he keeps raising the auction bids, pushing the total from $100 million to $600 million. Meanwhile, Roxanne and Mike arrive at the auction's location on their bikes, which turns out to be a rooftop bar. There, they find a woman named Juliet running the auction. Roxanne and Mike recognize her as a former classmate. They arrest Juliet and take her to where the briefcase is, and she gives them the case. Just as they are about to leave, Nick appears, surprising Roxanne because she thought he was dead. Nick explains that he wanted people to think he was gone to catch the traitor leaking their team's information. When Roxanne asks about Tom, Nick reveals that he is the traitor. Introducing himself to Mike, Nick also says he is Roxanne's husband. He insists they should go back to headquarters with the briefcase, claiming he will deal with Juliet. However, this is a trap. Nick has been working with Juliet the whole time, and she cleverly switched the briefcase while they were talking. Back at headquarters, Mike and Roxanne argue. Mike is shocked to learn Roxanne is married and feels betrayed, thinking she had feelings for him and came to New Jersey for more than just the mission. Roxanne explains that even though she is married, she and Nick have been separated for a while. Still, Mike is upset and frustrated, tells Roxanne goodbye before heading to a nearby bar. Feeling down, he video calls his friends from New Jersey, missing them and his hometown. The next day, Roxanne waits on a bridge for Nick, who was supposed to bring Juliet. Mike arrives, still upset but wanting to help Roxanne. They apologize to each other and resolve their earlier conflict. However, after waiting a long time, Nick doesn't show up. Roxanne realizes something is wrong, and when she calls him, he reveals that he put a quarter of the auction money, $50 million, into their bank account, making it look like they were responsible for the deal. Nick mentions he got a great offer from the buyers and plans to leave before they can catch him. Understanding the seriousness of the situation, Roxanne and Mike jump off the bridge to escape. Now Roxanne and Mike are on their own in the mission and need to find out the truth. Roxanne reveals that when she met Nick last night, she slipped a tracking device into his pocket. She never trusted Nick and thought he might try something like this. Using the tracker, they quickly find him in Croatia. However, they can't take public transport because the police are after them. Mike calls a friend who works at the airport and asks for a favor, to smuggle them to Croatia without any papers. His friend hides them in a goods container and sneaks them out. Once they arrive in Croatia, they track Nick to a restaurant where he is making a deal with the buyers, along with Juliet. Roxanne arrives and interrupts the deal. But when Nick gets a chance, he grabs the briefcase from them, leading to a high-speed chase. Mike and Roxanne chase Nick in separate cars. Nick heads toward the sea, planning to escape by boat. At one point, Mike's car crashes into Nick's, causing Nick's car to roll down a slope. Roxanne panics, thinking Mike is dead, but at the last moment, Mike jumps out of the car and survives. They reunite in the same car and take a shortcut to the seaside, where Nick is waiting for his boat. Roxanne crashes their car into Nick's, and they confront him with guns drawn. Nick tries to negotiate, offering them money to let him go, but they refuse. Before Nick can shoot, Roxanne fires back, killing him. They bring the briefcase back to headquarters, proving their innocence and clearing Tom's name. In the next scene, Mike returns to New Jersey and goes to a friend's wedding. While enjoying his beer, Roxanne surprises him, making him very happy. They dance together. In the final scene, Tom arrives at the wedding and offers Mike a job at his secret agency, the Union, for future missions. Mike is interested but asks for a long vacation first to spend time with Roxanne.